Luke Air Force Base was named after Second Lieutenant Frank Luke Jr., who was born in Phoenix and made aviation history in World War I when he destroyed 18 enemy aircraft in the sky over France before being killed at the age of 21. He was the first aviator awarded the Medal of Honor. Today on 12 News, as part of our dedication to keeping you in the loop with all things happening out in the West Valley, we're highlighting Luke Air Force Base.
Troy and Tram are live out of the base, and being in a constant state of readiness, guys, no matter the situation, is absolutely vital, right?
Yeah, and it's so interesting learning about all the different roles
There's
that
so
airmen
many.
can play out here. So this is EOD. Their main job is when they find ordnance in a battlefield or down on the bombing range down here that's still live, they make sure that it's okay.
EOD, which stands for Explosives Ordnance Disposal. And right here, we've got one of the EOD robots here. They're going to do a demo. But over here...
Let's start over here, Nick.
Okay, I was going to say, we've got... Who in a bomb suit? And thank you so much for doing this. We know it's, very hot.
This is my team member, Airman Otson, and he's in the EOD-10 bomb suit right now. That's going to protect him from like frag, blast over pressure, maybe fire. The material's made out of the same type of material a firefighter suit would be. We would wear this suit when we're going down to interrogate hazardous devices, anything like an improvised explosive device or an unexploded ordnance.
And I noticed that his hands are free, though, because you've got to be able to use your fingers, right?
That's correct, yeah. When we're going down to work with the item intimately, he's going to need to use his hands to work with the hand tools that he brings with him or any other items like an X-ray so that he can see what's inside a device or anything like that.
But how nerve-wracking is that to think that at any moment it could explode?
It can be pretty nerve-wracking, but something that we use to keep us away and safe from a device, that way we're not so heart-pounding all the time, is the robot over there.
Okay, good transition.
You can see him picking up the ordnance right now, that mortar. So we use that most often to keep us safe and far away from these hazardous devices.
And who is operating that?
That's Airman Jesse McLean over there, and he's on the computer. You can see that he's got all the cameras shown here, so he can see everything that's going on around the robot.
So it's like a two-man operation.
It actually is most of the time a three-man operation. We work as teams of three, and the lowest ranking team member will typically be driving the robot. They're always very good on the controllers, as you see in his hand there. Most of us are really familiar with stuff that shape these days. So.
Yeah, that's like a video
my son.
game.
Yeah, exactly, the PS5.
I bet Zach could be really good at that. So, I mean, putting your guy in that suit is going to be like your last resort, right?
That is always the last resort, yeah. We don't always want to send them down in the suit. No, that's like last resort there for sure.
I was going to ask you, I mean, this looks like it weighs so much and that it's so hot. I don't know if we can hear you, but what is it like? What is it like in there?
It's actually not as bad as you think. Being
Really?
from Arizona, I'm used to the heat, so I've been here a while.
This is 106 right here, all the time. Oh, wow.
I think it's a little steamy in that
Oh,
headmaster.
it does, but it has AC, air conditioning sort of in the helmet and through the back. So
that
you
helps.
actually can stay in here longer than you think.
It looks like half astronaut, half scuba diving.
What's this on your wrist here?
These are my controls, so I can either turn on my lights right up top or adjust the airspeed, turn them off.
Okay. But
Stuff
it
like
has
that.
nothing to do with operating the EOD robot.
No, ma'am.
No. Okay.
No.
So I want to come back over here. I know you're waving over here. But I want to see, I mean, it looks very meticulous. It looks very detailed. I mean, how difficult, is this to operate the EOD?
Well, I think just like anything, it takes time to get used to it, right? And we've got quite a few different robot platforms that we use. This is one of our more intricate and more maneuverable platforms.
Can you operate it?
Oh yeah, sure
Yeah, I
can.
wanna see how it
Absolutely.
works.
Yeah, so it's got quite a few different modes. You have a mode where you can just manipulate the arm and the joints.
Yeah.
You've got a mode where you can just drive the robot front and back, or you've got a mode that will do a little bit of both. So it just takes practice like anything else and getting used to the platform, and it's fun to drive. It's like a video game.
Well, you've got it down. You're winning as far as we're concerned.
Thank you
yeah.
for so much
Thank
for
you so much.
all what
Thank you guys.
do.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
all for what you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right,
We
so much more
appreciate
coverage
you.
coming your way here
Yeah.
on 12 News at 4 from Luke Air Force Base.
We're
Tell
gonna-
them we're doing next.
Well, we're leaving here We're going to miss you guys, but we are going to head over the other way and talk about communications.
Yeah, so they have to talk to the jets, right?
Yep.
The pilots, the crew chiefs, everybody. So the man in charge of keeping communications ready to go is coming up next.
Yeah, excited to meet him.
Yeah.
All right, back to you guys.
I do have a question though. The guy that's in the suit, as part of his training, does he actually have to go through an explosion to know what that feels like, or does it just happen on the job?
Do you ever have an explosion happen as part of your training? Do you get close to those, or is that just too dangerous?
You know, luckily for me, I'm actually pretty new here. So I've been here about 2 months. I've got to do a lot of hands-on training, but nothing of that sort.
Okay,
They don't
I was gonna
they'll
say-
put you through something that blows up by you.
Well, yeah, that's what the EOD robot is for, right? So that they can get closer to that explosive so that you don't have to.
Exactly.
Yeah, we want to keep him intact, Caribe.
Yeah.
Very
I'm so
important.
glad
Yeah.
I
that
just.
suit is air conditioned.
I know. I
You know?
just, wondered,
Can you imagine?
what they've been through at this point.
He's in the
yeah.
shade, but
I think
still.
we need to put that on.
Yeah.
All right, more coming your way.
Thanks,
All right,
guys.
guys. Thank you.
All right, time to check in with Lynn.